"Your husband has been paying my rent for 2 years," my neighbor said. "We've never spoken before." She handed me the receipts. I was getting my mail when she approached me. I'd seen her around the building before. Young, maybe mid-20s, always kept to herself. She lived 3 floors above us in apartment 8C. We'd never exchanged more than a polite nod in the elevator. Now she was standing in front of me holding a manila folder with trembling hands. "I'm sorry," she said. "I didn't know he was married until last week." I stared at her completely confused. "What are you talking about?" She thrust the folder toward me. "My name is Sutton. I've been seeing a man named Drew for 2 years. He told me he was divorced. He told me his ex-wife was crazy and he had to keep our relationship quiet for legal reasons. He said he was paying alimony and couldn't afford to be seen with anyone new. My husband's name is Drew. My husband told me he worked late every Thursday. My husband told me his bonus went toward retirement investments." I opened the folder. Inside were bank statements, Venmo receipts, Zelle transfers, all from an account I'd never seen before, all going to Sutton Meridell, rent payments, grocery money, a new laptop, a vacation to Miami that I thought was a work conference, 2 years of receipts, 2 years of my husband funding another woman's life in my own building. "He has a key to my apartment," Sutton continued. Her voice was shaking. "He comes over every Thursday and sometimes weekends when he says he's golfing. I thought we were building something real. Then last week I saw you two in the parking garage. He kissed you, called you baby." I realized everything was a lie. I couldn't breathe. Every Thursday for 2 years, every golf weekend, every work emergency. He was 3 floors above me the entire time. "Why are you telling me this?" I finally managed. Sutton's eyes filled with tears. "Because I'm pregnant. 8 weeks. I told him last Thursday and he said I needed to handle it or he'd stop paying my rent. He said if I kept it, he'd destroy my life. Make sure I never worked again." She wiped her face. "I'm not asking for anything. I just thought you deserved to know who you're married to." She turned and walked toward the elevator. I stood frozen holding 2 years of betrayal. That night I acted completely normal. Made dinner, watched TV with Drew, laughed at his jokes, let him kiss my forehead before bed. Then I waited until 3 a.m. and went through his things while he slept. The second phone was hidden in his golf bag. I found everything. Texts to Sutton calling her baby, sweetheart, the love of his life. Photos I won't describe. Voice messages where he complained about me, called me boring, said he was only staying for my inheritance. There was also a folder of screenshots. Sutton's social media, her work schedule, her family members' addresses. He'd been building a file on her, preparing to follow through on his threats. I took photos of everything, every text, every receipt, every threat. Then I put his phone back exactly where I found it. The next morning I called a divorce attorney. She specialized in hidden assets and financial abuse. Told me to document everything and not confront him until we had a complete picture. It took 3 weeks. We found 2 more accounts I didn't know about. A credit card registered to a fake business. Over $90,000 moved in 2 years. All while I clipped coupons and felt guilty buying new shoes. On Thursday night I waited until Drew left for his late meeting and went upstairs to Sutton's apartment. She answered looking exhausted and scared. "I'm not here to fight," I said. "I'm here to help you." I showed her the threats I'd found on his phone, the file he was building on her. Her face went pale. "He was going to destroy you whether you kept the baby or not," I said. "But I have a lawyer, and I have evidence. If you're willing to testify, we can both bury him." Sutton invited me inside. We talked for 3 hours. She showed me more receipts, more lies, more promises he'd made about leaving me and starting fresh with her. The next morning, Drew came home to find me sitting at the kitchen table with 2 police officers and my attorney. On the table was every piece of evidence, the secret accounts, the threats, the pregnancy, the fraud. His face went through every emotion: shock, anger, fear, then that smooth charm. "Baby, I can explain everything. Save it for your lawyer," mine said. "You're going to need one." The divorce was finalized in 4 months. I got the house and alimony. Drew got a fraud investigation and restraining order. Sutton had her baby, a little girl. I babysat sometimes because we lived in the same building and had become unexpected friends. Drew sent me an angry email asking how I could side with his mistress. I replied with one line: "She's not your mistress. She's your victim, just like I was."